Red, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Quote the old Jackie Gleason, how sweet it is.
Rocky Top, you'll never mean
You got that right.
one darn thing to me.
Hey, the only fire is that statement is we was burning that ass. They couldn't get that search right. Did you notice that?
They really didn't.
I mean, it was so disorganized. I said, well, that's inbred for you right there.
And I got a question. And I mean, this is a question that maybe we can do a Twitter question at some point. Who performed better? The fire out, the smoke out, or their offensive line?
Ooh,
Tennessee's offensive line or the crowd trying to do the smoke out with the orange on the bottom and the gray on the top? Which one performed worse?
I'd have to call it a three-way tie.
Man,
I'm just being honest.
Phil walking out there. I mean, he looked like, never mind. He looked like he just had him at least a dozen, maybe a dozen and a half. He walked out there, had all that stuff.
They showed him on TV. He was licking his lips. He just got through finished off a dozen damn donuts. He was licking the glaze.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I said pay $20,000 to go back through that experience to see that, to know the outcome. What would people have paid to sit with Philip Fulmer during that game and to sit there and watch his Volunteers get absolutely beat down?
Hey, and then sit there and pop a cigar right in front of him.
Wow.
And hey, but be a good man there and offer him one also.
JK, good afternoon. You're inside the game.
I had my chest stuck out. My wife looked at me and said, every time you're overconfident like this, it's the kiss of death. And I looked and I said, I'm not overconfident. This is not about confidence. This is about respect. And I do not respect Tennessee, especially this year. They're posers. They just have not beat anybody. There's a lot of talk. They've been hyping themselves up for months. All they got to do is show up and play. So it was about respect for me. And that tweet you just read about we're setting ourselves, and that's the other thing. Tennessee has already assumed we're going to win out. Could you imagine Nick Saban or this Alabama team saying, after we win out and go to the championship, and hey, you think like that? We want you in Atlanta. Come to Atlanta. And if you don't believe we can beat you twice a year, just ask Tim Tebow and Steve Spurrier about that. We sent them home crying back to Gainesville.
Well, and I think you look at this team, JK, they left, would you say at least 2 touchdowns?
Oh, more. We left money on the table.
Sure we did. Yeah, that's his verbiage. Yeah, right. I mean, you did. And you got to remember, in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds, Alabama was in a clock draining mode.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But
at least 24 points. We if we really pressed it, a couple of turnovers cost us 14. We missed a field goal in the half, and then there's 7 at the end of the game we could have had with the second team and possibly the third team.
Linda, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Well, hello.
How are you?
I'm so excited. I didn't watch the game at all.
You really didn't?
I really didn't.
Why? How'd you do that?
Well, I'm in a family of non-Alabama fans. My brother's daughter had her wedding at 3:00 Eastern time on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I made the announcement from now on, no births, no burials, no weddings, no muggings, no homicides, no traffic accidents, no storms, no tornadoes, no anything on the 3rd Saturday of October.
Yeah. Well, I think like Coach Saban said a couple of years ago, he goes, they know what I do during this time and this time, okay? And if you want me to be there, then you schedule it in the spring. If not, happy trails.
But before I go any further, I must give out my regular shout out to Maurice Smith. Hey, bro, what happened? What happened? You lose to Vanderbilt on homecoming. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Please say it ain't so. Write me a letter and explain to me how this happened.
Yeah, and somebody was telling me in the press box that Maurice Smith had sort of run that mouth a little bit about that the wins doesn't really matter. Or I'll find the exact quote, but it was something about that he was asked about, after losing, and you're pretty much. I mean, think about moving from the, as Nick said,
penthouse to the cesspool.
Right, to the penthouse to the outhouse.
No,
Nick
this
Saban.
is the cesspool.
Right, and you lose to Vanderbilt.
You lose to Vanderbilt on homecoming. No!
I mean,
this can't be happening. This can't be happening. Now I need to answer Aaron's call about the players and getting the big hit. No way, no how, nowhere. Listen, last week at the Arkansas game, the defensive backs called a players-only meeting because they were so disappointed in their performance. This team is about being the best. They're not just about going out there and playing a game. They're going out there and being the best. So they're not going to get the big hit because they smacked Tennessee around. Roll Tide. And always remember what line? Orange and blue is what?
Is the new pink, but can we add orange and white in there too?
Any orange is considered a member of that society.
No doubt. DJ K-Dub, good afternoon to you. You're in the game.
What's up, there, Ryan? It's a celebration, man. It's a celebration.
Oh.
You know how I feel about them volunteers.
I mean, and I'm just giving you guys half the truth. You really want to know how I feel? No, I mean, we're on the radio. We're on the radio.
I'm going to say, I don't think we can really go in depth how we really feel about this. Man, it was one of the days that, I've been doing this radio thing for a long time. And sometimes I come on and I say, I was laughing at the other team. But, sometimes I wasn't laughing really. I might have been laughing on the inside. But I laughed my ass off all day long. Every time we went in the end zone, I'm in there rolling. I'm laughing. The best player of the game, Bo Scarborough, screeking, scorching down the sideline. And just as he's about to score, the Tennessee player comes up gimpy. He comes up gimpy. And then Bo goes in for a high five. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Hey, DJ K-W, did you make it up there?
No, I did. I didn't get a chance to make it up there. I wish I would have, but I didn't.
I'm telling you, man. It was... I've said it a couple times. If I'm ranking top 3 all-time most enjoyable Alabama games, that may be number 1. It might be number 2. DJ K-W is just something about it. Looking up in the stands and watching the start of the fourth quarter, the end of the third quarter, and that orange going out of those portals are just awesome.
I bet you loved every moment of it. Look, man, I laugh my butt off every time. Look, hey, and you brought up one thing, that whole Peyton Manning and the boost stuff. I felt cheated. See, one thing for sure, and people don't know this about me, if I'm not at the game, that's why I go to I never miss a home game. I haven't missed a home game since 2010. I never miss a home game. But if I don't make it and I have to watch it, I always watch it with the sound off. I'm telling you, that's for reasons like that. I seen Peyton Manning on there. I seen him, but I never did hear it. I can't take it during the game. I can listen to it after we done handled our business, and I go back and listen to it on the replay. But it was no short than a porno. Garrett Danielson was already in his robe. I mean, they couldn't have been loving and kissing no more than what they were doing. I mean, it was very close to soft porn, man. I couldn't take it, man. It was disgusting. And I know Peyton Manning on Sunday, since he's the king of jingles, I'm going to leave you with this jingle. Alabama beat us bad. Appreciate it, there, Ryan.
That is awesome, DJ K-Dub. That is awesome. Chris in Mississippi, good afternoon, man. You're in the game.
Man, roll tide, Ryan. You sound like you're having just too much fun today, man. You're going to control yourself.
I'm going to try. I've even canceled a couple of guests at the back end of the program just to let us roll, man.
Hey, man. What you're saying was that ring of fire hit the fire exit pretty quick there in the second half. Is that what you're telling us?
Well, there was no traffic leaving Neyland Stadium.
I didn't see no ring of fire. That was about the most pathetic attempt at a ring of fire I've ever seen. But to be really honest with you, I was disappointed in Tennessee. I mean, this has got to be one of Bush Jones' most overhyped Tennessee teams yet. I sat there and listened to you a few minutes ago lay out their schedule and talk about who they beat and how they beat them and who they struggle with. But where in the world, in what universe did they ever think they had a chance against Alabama? I don't understand it. And now and now they're hoping they'll get Alabama twice. Are you serious? Is there any way possible you can have your team embarrassed twice in 1 year? I mean, that'd probably be the only way. We probably would have to ship you off to a hospital or something if you had to go through this one. You want to pay $20,000 to go through this experience again. I hope you get your wish. I really hope you get your wish. That would be the only feasible opportunity for you to get to experience this twice, to watch it run them out of a building the second time.
Jared in Houston, Texas. Jared, good afternoon. You're in the game.
What's happening, Ryan?
Just having a great day, man. Just a great day.
Man, what about the freshman? Did he look good or what?
Not too bad. Which one?
Well, and I don't want to make this all about Jalen Hurts, but, because there's 80 guys on that team and there's several coaches involved, a lot of people behind the scenes that make that team as great as they are, and every one of them contribute in one way or another, whether it's on the field, off the field, in the huddle, or whatever. So I don't want to make this all about Jalen Hurts, but one thing I want to talk about Hurts is how clutch is this kid? I mean, let's think about this. What are his two lowest moments as a member of the University of Alabama Crimson Tide? Which two moments do you think are his two lowest?
I mean, probably a couple turnovers.
A couple sack fumbles that weren't his fault? Okay, well, that kid, let's go back to Ole Miss when it happened to him. The shot that he took, the targeting hit that he took, he jumped up and put that team on his back and ran to victory. The other day, when the game, in both situations, the games weren't settled by any stretch of the imagination in either game. This last week, it was 14-0. Then real quickly, it was 14-7. So that game wasn't settled either. But he took them right down the field and marched it in. And it's hard enough to find a second or third or fourth year senior player that can really come in and make clutch plays in a tough environment like they've been playing in. But to take a true freshman to respond to those two moments the way he's done is very extraordinary. And I'm going to tell you, how lucky are we to have Jalen Hurts on our football team?
Tony, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Their fan base got butch slapped.
Yeah, did you see all those T-shirts up there? Butch is going to slap Saban. Bless their heart.
You know, your program has run aground when everyone's wearing new jerseys from a player that hadn't played in 20-something years there. You know your program's run aground. I mean, I haven't seen so many new number 16 jerseys in all my life. They don't have any other jersey. They don't have anything else.
I mean, yeah, what would you put on?
I mean, there's nothing. They don't have anything. You know what they need to put on? Crimson. They need to put on crimson because we own them. You know what Sunday marked?
What did it mark?
The first day of our second decade of dominance over Tennessee.
How sweet it is.
That's right. That's right.
And I mean,
it's not stopping.
And Tony, I've watched a lot of Alabama football. I've watched this team win a national title. Saturday was one of the most enjoyable Alabama games that I've ever witnessed.
Oh, anytime you go to Knoxville up there and we lay the smack down on them, it's fantastic. You know what the ugly was. When you get into it, you're talking about that, is that the game didn't kick off like at 6. Then we had to end the tailgate at 2:30. Because they knew what was coming. I told you Friday. Friday I told you it's going to be a blowout. You remember that? I laughed. We're trying to get there. I laughed. It was not going to be close. I laughed at the thought of having 300 yards of offense. I should have laughed at the idea of them having 200 yards of total offense.
What do you remember the guy that? And I've got to eat some crow here. Remember the guy who called in on Friday, and so it was like 111 yards. That was his prediction, and I laughed at him. I laughed at him, and I got to apologize to George. George, I'm sorry, man. I mean,
that's right.
You had it better than I did.
You're doggone right. He wasn't far off. That's the crazy thing.
No, he wasn't.
He was really close to it. But, hey, can you just, for all of us, just one more time, everyone just get relaxed and get a little Zen-like thing going on. What's the total rushing yards again?
438 total yards.
What did they have?
430.
36.
They had 163.
They had 36 yards rushing.
No, Tony, you're giving them 4 extra yards, man. They only had 32 yards of rushing.
We only outrushed them by 404 yards, I think.